Hey guys, this is Austin.
And John.
And welcome to another episode of the Meatgistics podcast. We have a lot to get to today. We don't have a guest. But that's okay. We found something else fun to do. But before we get into it all, we got to get to the beer of the day, because the beer of the day is always the best thing of the day. So I'm going to start out, and John is actually drinking the same thing as me. He might have already dabbled into the beer, so I don't know if he'll talk about this one or another one, but this one I think is a great beer. It's called Hoptronics by New Holland Brewing. They're out of Michigan. It's a double India Pale Ale, and it's about 9% alcohol. Their description on it is dank, bitter, and galactic. I didn't really get that. I don't know what dank and galactic really mean in a beer. The bitter part I get. I feel like it's a weird combo of hoppy bitter with some maltiness to it. Normally you get a double IPA and it's one or the other. It's either very hoppy, only hoppy, or it's very malty with just a hint of hops. But I feel like this one's very well balanced and I really like it.
Yeah, that's amongst the best IPAs I've ever had. I was keeping that to myself until we got to talk about this. I was doing other things before the podcast, didn't have time to run out to the beer store. Drank a coffee porter right before we got going, which is awesome. Love it. Absolutely love it.
It's okay.
London loves that beer.
Really?
Yep. But this is an absolutely great IPA. Yes, it's got some bitterness to it, some hops to it, but it's not overpowering. There is a lot going on there. Like you, I don't know what they mean by dank because I don't get any of that. Galactic. It's galactically awesome, but the important part.
I think they say galactic probably because of the can. It's
the
like,
can.
Is that Galgaga?
No,
what is
come
that?
on, that's Space Invaders.
Space Invaders.
Yes,
I'm not old enough for that.
Oh God, I am so old. Yeah, that is Space Invaders. That makes it awesome. Also, New Holland. They're the same company that does like the Dragon's Milk.
Oh,
and that stuff is just top notch. So as soon as I saw that this was from them, I figured it might be good, but as soon as I took the first sip, I was really pleasantly surprised. Plus, it's 9%.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that's in the range of what I like.
When you get 9% plus, like there is no such thing as a bad beer.
Oh, no, I disagree with that.
Okay, where do we agree that there's no such thing as a bad beer? I would say there is a percentage range where it doesn't matter anymore.
So then it just becomes like a bourbon almost.
Yeah. And you get some of those bourbon barrel, whatever. A lot of times a stout, something that's darker. Yeah. But that, I mean, sometimes the flavor is not the perfect thing, but it's really good. But you're like, this is 15%. Yeah. I like the flavor enough to keep going on.
It seems like from 6% to 9%, the double IPAs kind of live there easier than anything else. But once you get up to 11.5 and up, it does seem like stouts, porters, that's kind of their territory. You see some double IPAs like the 120 minute from Dogfish. That's like 18 or whatever.
That was the best IPA, like heavy IPA I have ever drank.
Yeah, and it costs $13 for a 12-ounce bottle. Yeah. So yeah, it better be pretty good. But no, this is absolutely excellent. I'm happy to say that I finally have an IPA that I'm enjoying. All right, so we were supposed to have a guest today. It was going to be Brett from SCA, which is Steak Cookoff Association. He started that, or at least was a big part of starting it, and that thing blew up. I was really excited to talk to him because they have events all over the world at this point.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Basically, what it did was it took competition cooking and competition barbecuing from something that cost tens of thousands of dollars to like get started up. Because you were doing pork butts, you were doing things, brisket, huge things like that, where you needed a trailer. Like you had to have a trailer to go to these things, into something that literally anyone could do. You just get one of those little PK grills, you go set up and you're cooking a steak, and it blew up. I mean, it got ridiculously huge. And then he was supposed to be up here because we were supposed to be doing an event this weekend.
It was supposed to be a massive event too. We were going to be like 3 to 4 times the size we were last year. Last year was our inaugural event. This year was going to be amazing. Oh. And then something called COVID came along. And
I don't know that term.
Yeah, me neither. I kind of ignore it.
Yeah. So he wasn't able to make it. He had to cancel last minute because he was still going to come up, just talk to us and do some other things, but wasn't able to do it. No problem. We'll have him on in a future episode, hopefully. But we were trying to think of what can we do to make it fun, not just sit here and talk between the two of us about, meat matters, because that's got its place, but we need to do some other things. So we thought, what if, in kind of honor of SCA, or because we were thinking that already, what if we took a few of our favorite steak seasonings, cooked up some steaks, and let people who actually know what they're talking about, so we're not just, letting anyone who walks in judge it, tell us what their favorite of all the seasonings were. So we chose 6 different seasoning combinations. The first one was Butcher's Barbecue Steak and Brisket Rub. Butcher's Barbecue is he's beyond small at this point. I would say he's a medium-size seasoning company. Would you still say small?
To be honest, I don't know what volume they do.
Okay.
I would say people knowing him, he's
well
name.
known. Yeah.
He was on Barbecue Pitmasters.
Right.
He's actually one of our good commercial customers.
Yep.
But I don't want to judge what he does on seasonings and stuff. But he has to do something decent.
And in the barbecue game, well known.
Oh yeah,
well known. Great seasonings, can't go wrong with them. Then this one's kind of one that, I won't call it a passion project, but this is one that we love.
Kind of, it sounds sappy, but near and dear to our heart.
Sure, absolutely.
Like, it's a good cause. It's people that we had talked to and got set up with, and we started custom blending their seasoning for them, but it's all a non-profit deal where they're just working with veterans and troops. And
do you want to say what it is, or
no? You go for it.
So it's the All-American Beef Battalion, and this is their superior steak seasoning, known also as Steaks for Troops. What they do is they send off and welcome back our soldiers when they're deploying overseas with a nice steak dinner for the entire company, whatever is going over. So that is something that you can feel good about buying. Anytime you buy it, some of the money is going or portion of the proceeds is going directly to them. And they are just absolutely awesome guys. I know in the past, we've done a couple like little small promotion things for them. I can't think of his name. Who is Captain or Lieutenant Dan? Gary Sinise. Gary Sinise works with them. Say he's a great guy. Then, is there anything else you wanted to say about that?
Nope.
Okay. Then we wanted to do one that was just salt and pepper. So did one steak is salt and pepper. Then we did the Cosmos cow cover. I assume if you're listening to this podcast, you know who Cosmos is. One of the larger names in seasoning. They're doing a ton of great things, honestly. Their wing cover, those little packages, they're like this big.
Wing dust.
Yeah. Even though they are fairly expensive, a little bit of that goes a long way for a normal person, not for you. I wouldn't recommend that you use those seasonings. Your wings would end up costing $4 a piece.
If I didn't work for us, I would spend an enormous amount of money on seasoning, because when someone says it takes 4 ounces for 25 pounds of meat, I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to use 12.
Right, yes. Same thing when I used to work at a beverage store in New York, managed a buddy's beverage center. I'd take beer basically at cost.
Yeah.
And I drank, I wouldn't even have thought twice about bringing home a 6-pack of 120-minute IPAs.
Yeah.
As soon as I stopped working there, I'm like, all right, well, now it's PBR time. This is ridiculous. And then we went to our old faithful, the Walton's Ultimate Steak Seasoning, which is
our number one seller. It is the best selling seasoning we have. In my opinion, the best steak seasoning we have. I'm very concerned if I get this one right.
So I don't ever, I did the other day because we were having Brett on. I did try a steak with what we're going to talk about next.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
But even going into it with I want to give this a shot. I'm so conditioned at this point, I think, to want that taste that anything else throws me off. I'm like, I don't know. You just lifted up the bottom of that, though. Do you feel better now? No. Don't look. So you didn't see what it is underneath there? Okay.
No.
Don't touch it. Don't touch it. Don't touch anything anymore. And then the last one.
Shaker?
No. Ooh. Can you give me that? And then the last one is the SCA, which is their steak rub. It's the world champion. Really, really nice rub. I'm not surprised that he's gone with the ingredients that he has. And we've talked about this in the past. I think there's a difference between what you're looking for in a competition barbecue or steak and what you're looking for in a normal steak.
Yeah. So John and I got steaks the other night to cook and try this out. I took mine home and split it with my wife and had some other sides with it. And I told my wife, I'm like, hey, I don't know what this is going to taste like. The whole point is I don't know, but be careful because this is probably meant to be a competition seasoning. And so it may be really flavorful. And I looked at it and I'm like, that doesn't look like a normal steak seasoning.
Right.
So I was concerned, but she loved it.
Yeah. She ended up adoring it. It sounded like.
Yeah. She was like, this is one of my favorite seasonings. I won't say whether I agreed or didn't until I get done with the rest of this and I know where I placed it. But
Fair enough. Now, for anyone who's been a Meatgistics user for a long time knows that I've gone from my wife full vegetarian to eating chicken, and now she eats some steak. So anytime I'm cooking a steak at home, I'll cut her a little piece and, just see if she wants it. And she usually does, just like a small little piece. But I don't know what's happened recently with my grill, but I've absolutely hit a sweet spot with my Green Mountain and the grill grates. I struggled with our gas grill back there. Really? I couldn't get it low enough where I could close the lid and really reverse sear them. So these were all open. Yeah.
Yeah. No gas grill is really going to be low enough to do a true reverse seal.
So then what is the point of having a gas grill at this point?
It's to cook hot and fast. Like,
who wants to do that? That's a terrible idea. The only thing hot and fast forward is good is the last 2-3 minutes.
If you're doing burgers or hot dogs.
No, those shouldn't be. Well, yeah, Patrick, we did hot dogs a while ago and he requested them to be a little bit burnt. I'm like, I can't do that. That sounds terrible.
Yeah, but that's what people are used to. Like, that's the norm. It's what people expect. And so it's what they want.
Yeah, a little bit of charring is okay, but not burnt like, your dad used to make it on a charcoal briquette. Yeah, definitely not. We're better than that now. All right, so let's go. What was your favorite? Now, hold on. I should say, I know, because I season these steaks and set this all up, I know what's what, but you don't.
No, I'm terrified because
you should be.
In my mind,
your father will disown you if you don't get this right. I
have a list, and I think I ranked these A to F. I ranked them from 9 to 5 or 4. Huh? 9 to 4.
Why would you do it like that?
6, 5, 4.
Why wouldn't you do it 1, 2?
Out of 10. So, out of 10,
okay,
I said the top one got a 9 because you're never perfect.
Oh God,
you're never perfect. So you got to start at 9. So I started at 9 and worked my way down.
Just say which one was your favorite.
I'm delaying because I'm scared.
Just go.
I know what I want these to be, but I don't know what's right.
Say it.
So I'm saying the top one was A.
Yep.
Is that
Walton's Ultimate? That's mine.
Good.
That's the Walton's Ultimate Steak and Roast Rub.
I was not trying to pick that out, but that one, it had the best, what I call traditional steak flavor.
Yep, absolutely.
It had salt, it had spice to it, all around a very solid flavor that was strong, but it still let the meat flavor come through. And once you got through some of the flavor, you're like, yeah, that's some great steak flavor.
What steak's supposed to taste like. I'm super disappointed. I was hoping you were going to go for something else, and I was terrified. Make fun of you for a while. But no, and I did quickly look through. So we also gave all of these to the salesmen. We let them go ahead and
some of the salesmen.
Yeah, a few of them were not here, but every one of them, other than your brother, who has not responded yet, as far as I can see, at least on my phone, chose A as well.
Good.
And it was blind. I didn't let them know which seasoning was which. I was going to initially, and your brother's like, no, can't do that.
Yeah, you don't.
I'm not a scientist.
Yeah.
I don't care about your sciencey reasons. All right, so there. What's next?
Number 2 was B. It was similar, but it was a little less potent, a little less salty, and had just more of a basic meat flavor. I think it was the All-American Beef Battalion.
You're correct.
Okay. We should do this more often because I guess these better far
We're very
than
good
like
at this.
a snack stick seasoning.
Okay. So for my second one, it was E. Wait. Yep, E. Do you want to see what E is? You've already written yours down.
E was that.
E was that.
I've got 3 right so far.
Okay. Yep. So E was the Cosmos cow cover. Really good. Very, very, very different from the Walton's Ultimate Steak and Roast Rub.
Yeah.
But Cosmos makes a good seasoning. I mean, they know what they're doing. That had a lot of good flavor to it.
And I would 100% disagree. That was my worst one out of the whole deal. It did not have a very strong flavor.
Oh.
It was too hidden in with the meat. There wasn't enough salt. If there was more salt, it could have brought the flavor out. No, I know I'd like a lot of salt, but no, like seriously, like what is the ingredient list? Well, salt's number 1, so forget that. But it's a dark color. Like there's a lot of other stuff in here.
Okay.
So if there was more salt, it would bring out more of the spices, in my opinion.
Okay.
But it just wasn't very salty, not very strong. It had a hint of flavor, but then meat flavor just swarmed it, and it was gone. So it dissipated. I voted it probably the least because the flavor was kind of weak, and it dissipated the fastest, in my opinion.
Okay. I cut your pieces. I don't think you got any of the spinalis of that one. So another important point is 5 of these were ribeye and 1 was strip.
Was it that one? There was strip?
No,
oh,
okay. No, it wasn't that one. Okay. All right. So you're 1, 2. Okay.
So number 3. I said number 3 was still a traditional steak flavor, but it was more like B, so more like the All-American Beef Battalion than it was the Walton's Ultimate. It was very meat heavy on the flavor.
Which
so
one was
the
that?
flavor wasn't heavy enough. I don't know. I'm saying C.
C.
That was C, so I'm saying I think it was that one.
It was.
Okay.
God, you're good at this. You're on point today.
I'm much better with topicals.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. Obviously. And for my third one, I had SCA.
Goodness gracious, you're so wrong.
You don't even know what that is yet.
Yeah, I do. It was F.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got that one right. So that means I got my 4th pick was D. That was salt and pepper.
Yeah, I did not like salt and pepper.
To be honest, I put salt and pepper above the Cosmos and the SCA
because it had salt on it.
Because it had enough salt to actually enhance the flavor, and it didn't just kind of give a taste and then fade away immediately.
Now, your problem is you have an addiction to salt.
No, there is a reason that people like salt. It enhances flavor. It makes things taste better.
But also easily overused. Did that have enough salt?
Did
that have enough salt on it for you?
Yeah, it did.
Okay.
If you would have put more on it, I would have started to question if it was the All-American Beef Battalion.
Okay. Because I poured it into my hand and was shaking it onto the steak, and I was thinking, is this enough for Austin? It's definitely not too much. I knew it wasn't ever going to be too much. Okay. All right, go ahead.
So my exact notes on the salt and pepper were strong and solid flavor from the meat, but mostly salt.
Okay.
So then the next one was E, which that one was...
Yep.
No, this one.
Yep.
E was this one. So my last one was the SCA one, which it almost sounds bad because I still like the SCA one.
Yep. And it was your wife's
It was
favorite.
my wife's favorite. So
might be why you're not liking it so much, because you feel emasculated by the fact that a outside seasoning takes primacy on her.
No, she has a different taste, and she grew up a lot different than I did.
It's all personal.
She grew
preference.
up on the salt and pepper. That was it. Salt and pepper.
Yeah.
But I don't know. This is just the most abnormal seasoning to me. It's not a steak seasoning, in my opinion. It's a really good seasoning, but I would use it on something else. It still made a very good steak.
Probably.
I wouldn't say any of these made a bad steak.
No,
it's just
absolutely not. I cooked them. They were excellent. in all honesty, probably standing out better on a cut of pork or maybe chicken. Like that's when I ate the steak the other night, I was thinking like
this on a pork chop
better on a pork chop.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's what my thought was.
Because honestly, this would be good on pork. Ultimate steak and roast rub, good on pork. But hands down, I would use that on pork.
Yeah, I would think so. So I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The salt and pepper does nothing for me. Salt and pepper is great if you have a cut of Kobe or Wagyu. We used to have a customer, I think he's still a customer of ours, who I was really friendly with down in southwestern Texas. And he had a farm where they butchered just Wagyu.
Yeah.
And a couple of times he just sent me stuff up. The first time was like a year after working here, and I didn't know hardly anything. So I looked up, he sent me flank steak. So I'm like, all right, well, what do you do with the flank steak? And I was like, oh, marinate it in this. So I did it. And then I talked to somebody. They're like, what did you do? Why did you do that? So the next time I cooked it, I just used straight salt and pepper. I'm like, oh, that's the best steak I've ever had. I'm like, it's not even remotely close.
Yeah.
So on certain cuts, salt and pepper definitely has its place. An average choice cut from Dillon's is not that place. That's not where you want to let salt and pepper shine.
You could get lucky.
Sure, you could, but why risk it?
But yeah, why risk it?
Yeah, why risk it?
Why? Yeah.
It was just painfully obvious as I was eating them how much more I prefer the Walton's Ultimate to everything else. Like I hate it. I'm like, that is what I want my steak to taste like. And I've said this to a bunch of people, friends of, my wife and mine, when we go out, like don't order a steak. I'm like, we can go back to my house. I'll cook you a steak better than anything they're going to make here.
Once every 3-4 years, when I'm out somewhere that's like a really expensive place, I'll buy a steak just to be like, okay, well, this is a $50 steak.
Right.
Let's see
what can they
let's
do?
see what it's like. But most of the time it's like, no, I'm not even going to bother because I know I can cook something better at home.
Yep.
They can cook a lot of other dishes a lot better than I can, but I can cook a steak better than they can.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. When we go out of town for work, anytime, like even when it's on the Walton's credit card, I'm not buying a steak. I'm always buying a pizza because I know no one's going to bother me and I can eat the whole thing.
Yeah. So I will say overall, I was 6 for 6.
That was amazing.
Guessing
that was
these.
really, really well done. So I think maybe the new game is we'll just pour some seasoning on your hand and see if you can identify what it is.
You need the meat though. You got to have the meat.
Oh, I would think it'd be easier without the meat.
No, not at all. Definitely easier with the meat. I don't know why, but yeah, if I opened up these two, like the Cosmos and
they're
SCA,
very similar.
Yeah, I don't think I could tell the difference if I just tasted them there. But
they're very similar.
In the meat, they interact with the protein in the beef and they do something that maybe it's just because I've ate it on that before, and so I know what it tastes like, and I'm looking for that taste again versus just the straight taste. But I don't know. I would say it's easier on a protein.
All right, so now we'll go to our salesman and what their opinions were. We were tossing out your brother's because he doesn't know what's what. He said his least favorite was his favorite, and then backtracked it somehow. I'm pretty sure. I'm with almost all certain.
He's a typical salesman. Just, oh, this one's great. Well, okay. Well, no, this one's great.
I'm 90% sure that his favorite was that and his second favorite was that. Beyond that, I don't care. But he listed this as his favorite when I'm 100% sure in there he said that was his least favorite. So he listed this as number one, but we talked about it being the worst and he agreed. He's like, yeah, definitely not that one. So I think he just got, I think what happens when I plated them for him initially, I think we got confused as to what was what.
Okay.
But
that makes me feel a little bit better.
So if we throw everyone else, if we throw them out or him out, there are 4 other salesmen in there. 3 of them agree with us. A is the best.
Yeah. Not to toot our own horn, but if you're out there doing a steak comp, you might give the Walton's Ultimate Seasoning a try.
And this would be when Brett from SCA would be great to have here because we could get an answer on what are they looking for. I know it's not just like the regular steak.
Yeah, it's a competition. I mean, competitions are different. Like, you would not cook a competition brisket for your family or friends. No. Like, people might like it, but it wouldn't be right, in my opinion, from what I know. But yeah, we get Brett on here hopefully soon still, and we talk to him about what they're really looking for. Maybe he has some better insight there, but as your everyday quote unquote table steak, Walton's Ultimate. You can't beat it.
Absolutely agreed.
Not a promotion. Like,
I mean, kind of a promotion.
Kind of, but not a promotion. We didn't engineer this to make that be number one.
No, we actually kind of did what we could to prevent that. I was fine with just putting the seasonings out in front and expecting everyone just to be honest. It was your brother really who said, no, you can't do that.
Yeah, no, you can't. You got a blind taste test.
Yeah. And he was probably right. All right. So I sent you a link. The other thing we were wanting to talk about today was some weird foods. And I had London go through and find us a couple of lists of just absolutely ridiculous foods. So I was going to go to the Hostile World one, and I will try to remember to post a link to this down in the description on the Meatgistics post. So for anyone who's looking for, when I say description, I don't necessarily mean the description of the YouTube post. You can always click on the first hyperlink in the description, and that will take you to the Meatgistics post, and there's more information in there. But if we're going to the Hostile World, we haven't talked about these yet.
No, and
so what I want to do is I want to read them, and I want you to tell me whether or not you'd eat each one.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm in.
All right. So number one, which doesn't even seem that odd to me, chicken's feet.
I'd eat it. It's deep fried.
Absolutely. Hands down. Haggis.
I don't know what that is.
So haggis is, have you ever seen where they go save the earth by blowing up the comet?
No.
Armageddon.
Yes. Armageddon, yeah.
He talks about haggis there.
Oh, okay.
It's like you take all this stuff, you shove it in a sheep's stomach, boil it, and that's haggis.
Okay.
So
the description says heart, so I'm out. The rest of it, liver, maybe lungs, minced.
You've eaten heart.
And mixed with onions. Have I?
I fed you heart. Yeah.
Did I knowingly eat heart?
Absolutely you did. We did it on like Valentine's Day like 2 years ago. You and I did it. Yes.
No.
Yeah, you don't remember we did the kebabs?
Yeah, it's one of those things like I just don't want to know I'm eating it. If you put it down in front of me and just say, hey, this is pork or sheep or goat
so I should have
or
lied
beef,
to you, is what you're saying.
You just tell me, hey, this is this animal, and I'll be like, oh, okay, I'll try it.
For anyone who doesn't remember or hasn't seen, I did make him eat calf
testicles,
fries, bull balls, and I thought I made it clear what we were doing when he came in here, but clearly not, because he came in here and I'm laughing. He's like, what are we doing? And I just started laughing. He's like, it's not balls. I'm like, yeah, I think I've been telling you this for like a week, but I wasn't clear. All right, so tripe. Tripe's not something that you or I would have any problem with.
No, I feel like tripe is somewhat normalish.
Yeah, I don't understand why that's a weird one. So Kash, it's Middle East, East Europe, and Turkey. It is a combination. It's a stew of cow's feet and head. I'm going to pass on that.
Yeah, I'm passing on that.
I don't want to eat that. I'll eat anything. I'm not eating that.
No, that's something that's outside of my purview.
It's not even the head I have a problem with. Like I'll eat the face.
It's the feet. It's the feet.
It's disgusting. Tuna eyeballs. Yeah, absolutely. I'll eat that.
No, I'm out.
Yeah. No.
Too creepy. Dude, they're looking at you on the screen.
So what? That only makes it.
And they're very large.
You have to assert your dominance over all the animals in the ocean or they will eat you. That's the other one we've made here, black pudding, blood sausage. So you've definitely eaten
that's
that.
good.
Yep. Spam.
Why is this even on the list? No, Spam is good. Spam is good.
It's high. It's number 7.
Yeah.
Like that's weird.
The next one is 10 times weirder. Like, I don't even know.
I'm quickly going to go into a tangent here. So the next one is Hakarl or Hakarl. It's from Iceland. It says it's the rotting carcass of a Greenland or basking. Then they give its scientific name, shark. So I read that as them thinking that a Greenland shark and a basking shark are the same thing, and they're absolutely not. So I'm annoyed at them for that. But no, I would not eat this. I have heard of this dish before. I used to have a friend who would come over from Norway, and he would talk about how bad that was. There's no way I'm eating that.
It looks disgusting. Like maybe it's like you guys started dry aging some steaks today.
We did.
Maybe you cut off the outside. The inside is fantastic. But the picture they gave us is so... It's gross that I'm not dabbing my toes in that one.
Yeah, that's the other thing. They show these pictures of it hanging. My understanding is that they bury it. So maybe they bury it and then hang it. I don't know. Either way, not eating that. Can't pronounce that word, so I'm going right by it. Century egg, which is the 100-year egg. It's the
surströmming. I would eat it. It's canned.
So you'll eat anything canned.
If it's canned.
Well, we have an entire section on Meatgistics called canning, or an entire group that I created called canning and pickling.
Yeah.
I will challenge them to send you something canned you won't eat.
I would do that as long as it's canned properly. I mean, that looks like an official label. It looks like it's been cooked thoroughly, because if you get a can and it's bad, you'll know.
Botulism will expand it. Yeah.
So if it's fine, you're going to know, and it might taste weird, but would I eat it? Yeah, I would, because I know it would be fine.
Please can some weird stuff and send it to Austin. So the century egg, which is the 100 years egg, which is a misnomer. It's not really fermented for 100 years in China. No, I wouldn't eat that.
I'm not committing to this one. I'm undecided.
Yeah, no. Stinkheads, which is Alaska. I know people who've eaten that and they say it's strange but good. So yes, I'd eat that.
If it's fermented, I'm probably in. Yeah. It's probably pretty tangy.
Right. Yeah, I like that. It's got like a real low pH. I will like it. Shiakura from Japan. Now, they start this off. Now, this one really does sound bad. Like all the other ones sounded not bad. It's a dish made of pieces of meat taken from a selection of sea creatures, served in a brown, viscous paste of their own salted and fermented viscera. So yeah, I'm going to pass on that.
Well, you forgot the most important line. It says, I forgot to say, it's all served raw.
Of course it is.
So I'm out.
So when I was living in New York, we had a couple of little bars that had really good sushi restaurants attached to them. And they would bring these guys over directly from Japan. So these are like top-notch sushi restaurants or sushi chefs. And it got to the point where it was like they knew me, I knew them, and they knew that I wanted to try like the most out there weird stuff they could get. And they never got me with anything. I was like, no, I won't eat that. And they're like, this is raw eel. I was just like, yep, let's go. And I loved it all. But as soon as you start talking about viscera, I'm out.
It's one of those things where I love sushi. Like I'm totally good with that, but I also have like some level of expectation on sushi in that you can, and it may be the same for whatever this thing is, this raw shiokara or whatever. You can, it's kind of like the reverse of Appendix A. You freeze seafood far enough down
to kill the parasites.
You kill anything that would be bad in it, so then you're fine to eat it raw. But there's still a science to it. It's not just going like, hey, here's something raw. So if someone just says, hey, it's raw here, eat this, I'm like, no. But if I know something about it, if it's sushi is supposed to be frozen.
Right.
Now,
at
is it all?
Point, and then sure.
I don't know.
So I never knew that.
I'm at least trusting it.
You taught me that. I did not know that sushi was killed or frozen to have the parasites killed in it.
Yeah.
So I was on a boat, I don't know, 2006 or something. We were fishing. They caught bait. They were cutting bait, and the guy cut it, and he just caught it. And he's like, sushi. I was like, all right, I'll have it. And he looked at the captain like, can I give him this? The captain was like, no. But I was absolutely ready to eat it because I just thought it was fresh. It was fine.
No, right, not at all.
Grasshoppers in Thailand, I've had them.
Yeah, I'm out.
Grasshoppers? You won't eat grasshoppers?
No, that's just, it's probably not bad. It's probably fine, but it's just it's too weird. If I had to survive on grasshoppers, I would.
Why do you
I
think
would
that's
eat
weird?
them if I had to.
Are there any insects you would eat?
Yeah, I would eat insects. Like
Just not a grasshopper.
I feel like insects are safer than other things. They might not be. I don't know.
Grasshopper's an insect.
Well, yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying is, yeah, insects in general, probably safer than some things, but I'm still not going to eat them unless I like have to.
Have you gone to the next one yet?
No.
Please go to the next one.
Out.
This is the weirdest one on the list. How this is not number one, I don't know. It is a wasp cracker. So it's from Japan. It says, yep, you guessed it. It's a biscuit filled with wasps. And it also says, apparently the digger wasp, which the biscuit contains, has a pretty mean sting. Why? Why? How? For
What's
what reason?
the Asian murder hornet?
Yeah, the murder hornet. Yeah.
Like that's the only thing I think about when I see anything with a stinger and something about Asia, and I can't anymore. But I already have a phobia of wasps, so I can't.
Well, like my wife is really afraid of bees, like even bumblebees, anything like they don't bite. Like,
yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Very rarely.
I've seen it.
Or sting. You're totally fine. I'm like, what you have to watch out for are wasps and hornets. Those little bastards are mean.
And there is a big difference. And sometimes it's when they're flying around and I'm panicking, it's hard for me to tell what is what. But wasps are bad.
Yes, very bad.
Mud daubers are okay.
Don't
have a problem with them.
Do they have a stinger?
No, they do. They're just like wasps and they sting, but mud daubers are truly defensive. They are not going to attack on something versus wasps are an aggressive creature.
Yeah,
they're not defensive, they're aggressive. So that's the big difference is people look at it and they're like, oh, it's okay. It's like, no, is it a wasp or is it a mud dauber?
Well, it's
if it's
easy
a mud
to
dauber,
tell
I'm
the
fine.
difference. Yeah, it's
the
mud dauber's got like no connection and a long thorax or whatever.
I don't know. They look fairly similar. And when I see one, they're close enough from 30, 40 feet away that I start panicking and I can't see anything at that point.
So, you know, my house has all that like textured stone or whatever.
Yeah.
The mud daubers love building the nests in there. So I just go through and kill them every once in a while. Next one is fried tarantulas. So I don't think I'd eat that.
It's fried, so I would try it. I'd be willing to try, but that's about it.
The witchery grub from Australia.
Out. Grubs are gross. No.
It depends on how it's like, is it cooked or something? If it's raw, absolutely not. Although if I was out with like Adam Greentree or something in the wild, then Australia, I feel like your options are limited.
It says lightly cooked.
Oh, well, there you go. Whatever Eskimo is, insect caviar. So definitely not.
No, I'm out on that one.
More grubs. So I'm going to say no to those. We've done escargot.
And we will not do that again.
Well, we liked it. Remember, it was the dipping sauce was real good.
We just wanted a cup of the dipping sauce to drink. I'm pretty sure that's
figured
all
out. Melted butter, wine, and
signature pork.
Signature pork. Yeah. It's an amazing combination.
Signature pork
so
and
good.
Melted butter.
So
is
good
to die for.
On anything. More grubs. So no stink bugs. No.
How are these lower than spam?
Right. What is wrong? Is this list backwards? Maybe it's backwards.
Maybe.
Because here comes worms. Nope. Out on that.
Tequila worm. The tequila worm.
Okay, but that's not the real worm. Or the first worm was mopane worms.
Oh, mopane worms? No.
Yeah,
I'm out.
Definitely not. Tequila worm, whatever. I mean, not only is this not just a regular tequila worm, but it's also in a lollipop. Who cares about that? Marmite, which I know and everyone else knows is Vegemite.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care about that. I'll eat that.
No big deal.
Pickled egg.
I'd be in. Pickled eggs. Oh, yeah.
There's nothing good that comes out of the UK, though, as far as cuisine is. Like, it's all disgusting. Bird's nest soup. So, as far as I know, that's not actually from... Oh, no, it does. It says it's from a swiftlet bird. So, no, I'm out. They make a version of that at a New York restaurant, which I now am really hoping isn't actually that I used to like. It can't be. It was just like a normal neighborhood Chinese place. So I'm going to say yes on that because I've had it. Fugu, Japan, which is if it's prepared incorrectly, it can be deadly. It's blowfish, I think.
Then I'm out.
100% eating that.
No.
Those chefs over there, they're like, I don't know that we have it would be like going to a restaurant with a double Michelin star. You have to get approved to be able to buy this to be a chef. Well, they know exactly what they're doing.
The Japanese restaurants in America have ruined it for me because it's honestly a really good restaurant, but there's a somewhat well-known restaurant east side of town in Wichita that's had multiple issues with different diseases, bacteria, and stuff. And now I don't eat there. I love their food, but it's a Japanese restaurant now. I'm like, nope, out.
All right, we're talking after, because if it's the place that I just went to, I loved the food
potentially.
There, so it better not be. Steak tartare, yes, and we are doing that here soon.
I'd be in.
This one I'm going to make London eat is called cherry blossom meat, and it's Japan. It is steak tartare.
Horse meat.
But it's horse.
Yeah.
She says no. Frog legs. I think I've eaten frog legs.
They're fried.
Right.
Like anything that's fried. You could take one of the things that I said no to, and you could deep fry it in like some serious batter, and I would still eat it.
Okay. London's got a friend who has a funny meat fact that we're going to use at some point for frog's legs. Kangaroo, absolutely, I'd eat that. It's deer. Crocodile, I have eaten it.
I'm 80% sure I've had crocodile or alligator.
Same thing.
Like,
sure.
One of those, like jerky. It was interesting.
Jerky?
Yeah.
Really?
Different. Very different.
I'm trying to think of the texture of the tail. I don't feel like that would translate well to jerky.
I probably wouldn't eat it again.
Okay.
I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, oh, that's cool. That's different. But I'd rather have beef jerky. So I wouldn't shy away from anything like that. Crocodile, alligator, whatever.
Yeah, that's all. I had it at this place in Texas called Papa Do's. I used to do it. Southern fried rattlesnake. I've had snake. I don't think I've had a rattlesnake before.
That's the only thing that's fried I won't touch because I literally have like a massive fear of snakes.
Oh, do you want to tell the... Oh, you weren't even up there, so it can't be that bad.
No, I was out and around, but Rob is the one that carried the stupid thing outside, and he's been terrorizing me. And I can't get over it. So trying to go quickly here. It was a very small snake. It was 8 inches long. It was not big, but we have these LED lights in the front where our reception area is, and my office is just the corner next to it. And this snake was sticking its head down out of the LED lights. Instead of having like a normal solid cover on it, it was this like grate thing. So you could get up and down from stuff. But this snake was just sticking its head out.
Checking things out.
Yeah. So we might have a snake or two in the ceiling. We haven't seen any more. It's been several days. So
and they're 8 inches long. Who cares?
I think it's done, but Rob
grab them, bring them outside, or kill them.
Yeah, Rob was pestering me, going, that's probably a mama snake. That breed, they give birth in August, and there's babies up there right now. Blah blah blah, and I can't stop looking up in my office at the lights, going,
what is
there?
That
is there a snake up there now? I don't know.
All right, so guinea pig. I can't eat a pet.
It's not a pet.
Guinea pig's a pet. Guinea pig's a pet. I can't eat
for some people. Whatever, I'll eat it.
Turtle soup. Turtle tried to bite me when I was younger. I will eat that soup all day long.
As long as it's cooked very well. Because I hear a lot of things about like turtles having like bad diseases.
Yeah. What do the armadillos have? Leprosy?
Really?
Yeah. I think there's a huge problem with turtles and leprosy too. Don't take my word there. Okay. I didn't research that at all. Starfish? I don't know. I've never had anything from the ocean and not liked it.
I feel like that would be kind of like a crab leg. You can break it open, eat the meat out. It'd be good. Yeah.
Rocky Mountain oysters. We've done that.
Never doing that again.
And we will do that again.
Nope. Out. Done. That's gross.
Balut. From the Philippines, it's a developing duck embryo that's boiled alive in its shell. Oh my God. That sounds like Patrick's favorite bands would write a song about that. That is hardcore. So yeah, definitely not.
Like some people would say, oh, it's horrible. You just killed a little baby bird. I'm just looking at it going, no, it's gross.
Yeah, it's gross. Definitely gross. Dragon in the Flame of Desire, which is the rather elaborate name, can be simplified down to yak's penis.
I'm out.
I'm out too. Shirako from Japan. It's another fancy name for an animal's reproductive organs. It's essentially a cod's sperm sac. Funny fact, this is also known as white children in Japan.
And I'm still out.
They eat white children in Japan, and it's Shirako. Cobra heart. My father ate that in Vietnam.
Yeah, that's one of those things that if I needed to, I would.
Sure.
But I'm not going to willingly, like now in my present state.
So
I could fast for like 40 days before I ate that.
Yes. Yeah. You'd have to be hungry. Casu Marzu, Italy. It's maggot cheese. So no, I didn't read past that. I stopped right there. Yeah. Yin yang fish. I mean, I don't know what it is, but it's a fish. So I'm
deep fried. I'm in.
Probably fine. It is Sanakchi. Is that? I have no idea.
Sure.
I don't like it because it's like animal cruelty. It seems unnecessary. Drunken shrimp. Yep. Have eaten it. Will eat it again. Shark fin soup. I have a weird relationship with sharks, so I don't care about them at all. But from an environmentalist standpoint, I do care about our ocean. So no, I wouldn't eat shark fin soup.
Wait, you don't want to like command your position at the top of the food chain?
It's not even that. Here's the thing. I've heard for so long that without sharks, the oceans will die. And I don't believe it. I believe if you removed all of the sharks, there'd be more of everything else. And we could take, like, they're competitors of ours. I understand that's not how it works. And this isn't rational. But if we killed all the sharks, there'd be more of other stuff. So I don't really like sharks. But from like a understanding of
how it's maintained,
how it actually works, right?
How
it's
they
probably
gather
not,
the shark fin.
And it's not like we can do that as an experiment and then back it out if it doesn't work. So
yeah.
Bushmeat, yeah. I mean, I'll eat a lion. I'll eat a gazelle or not.
Oh yeah, I'll just wild game. Yeah, whatever.
Whale. I've eaten whale.
I don't. That's weird. Like that's a fish, but it's a mammal.
Yeah.
So
it's not a fish at all.
Well, that's why I said it's
a mammal.
like a fish, but it's a mammal.
Okay.
So that's where I get kind of iffy, and I'm like,
you've eaten other mammals.
Well, I know, but it's just weird.
Fish.
I would try it, but I would be very reserved about it. Like,
okay,
skittish. I don't.
Yeah, I had canned whale. 100% no on dog.
Really?
100% no. Not only would I not do that, I'd go into whatever restaurant was serving them. I'd kill all the chefs and release all the dogs.
It depends. Like in today's world, no, 100% no. But
if it's like apocalypse time,
yeah.
God, yeah.
No, I've been looking.
You better watch out. Well,
I've been looking at some of this. Like, how hungry am I? Like, so if I was really hungry, oh yeah, I'm gonna treat it like wild game.
Oh, throw everything out if like we're in end times. I'm eating everything.
No, I'm still sticking to what I said before.
Oh, yeah, no. If this is like we're all starving, I'm eating anything. And then cat.
Cat's way beyond past dog. Not because I like cats more, just because I hate cats and I think they're gross and disgusting, and I don't like cats.
Here's why I'm going to disagree with you. Our friend Nick Hoffman says that mountain lion's the most delicious thing he's ever eaten.
I'm thinking house cat.
I've already got 3 neighborhood cats in mind, and I'm going to start leaving some stuff out for them. No, I'm just kidding.
No, like I go back to like 47 bushmeat Africa.
That's no problem.
They're talking about like some wild game on the African Sahara.
Sure.
So if you killed like a tiger or lion and like
There's
you
no
need to eat
in Africa.
Okay, lions, whatever. I don't know my geography, obviously. Sure. But I would eat something like that. But a house cat, I feel is just like gross. I would eat that. Yeah, dirty. Very last resort.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah. That definitely. I can see how that would work, but still, I'm going to eat all the cats in my neighborhood before I eat my dogs. I've also heard that dog is considered a spicy food, not in that it's spicy to eat, but or a hot food. It makes you feel hot.
That's weird.
I think that's probably a good sign that you're not supposed to eat it.
Probably.
Like we domesticated those wolves however long ago, and they kind of chilled with us since then. Let's keep that.
There's enough large game out there. I don't think we have to worry about it. Yeah. I'm going to hunt deer,
elk
for a long time.
Yep. All right. That's what I think we threw together, a pretty fun podcast on really short notice.
Yeah, so let us know which of the ones we commented on the food part there. What is your favorite, or what is your absolute worst thing that you are just not going to eat?
Or even better, what is something you ate that's weirder than anything we said?
Yeah.
Cool.
Anything could be weirder than spam. So
yeah, that's
kind of go
totally
as like
normal.
A group thing.
Yes. Yeah, that was weird. So go ahead and do us a favor. Leave us a 5-star review on whatever you're listening to this podcast on. Or if you're watching it on YouTube, please hit that like button. It really does help. Recommends it to more people. And we can keep doing this.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
See you
I'm
guys
John.
soon. And I'm Austin.
And we'll see you guys next time.